might not want to go to college. Maybe there's some that do want to go to college and go through a management training program. But I tell you what, if we don't do something about our national economic footprint right now, those jobs are going to go away. They're going to continue to be outsourced, and anything that's left here is going to be cushioned up or almost bought up by those who do not pay taxes in our country in the first place. And there's something fundamentally wrong about that. I'm going to fight that. Let's talk briefly about our national security, which is a huge issue and opportunity we have. I have a theory, and it's not too far from your own, that if you want to get this economy back where it needs to be, we're going to have to find a way to get people to believe in their country again. There's only 2 or 3 reasons why people stop spending their money. It's amazing that those in D.C. haven't figured this out yet, when everyday citizens like you and I know, I guess because either we live in a family where we understand why, when and why and how people spend money, or we're just used to common sense ideals and solutions. It just drives me up the wall and back down when I consider people, real simple anecdote, people will spend their money if they have confidence in their government, their economy is healthy, and they feel safe. That's all it takes. And folks will go back to the mall again. They stopped going to the mall because they lost confidence in their leadership. And that happened not because, bless his heart, our current congressman is not speaking as silver-tongued as he used to. We didn't lose confidence because the president of our country has a different melanin level or count in his skin than someone else does. We didn't lose confidence because of those harebrained reasons. We're not racist. Are we racist? No. I mean, do you believe I've been accused of being a racist? Isn't that funny? I didn't fit the profile, do I? Look at me from the side. No, I'm just kidding. No, we realize something simple and fundamental, that as long as people believe in their country, if they have confidence in their government, if they have confidence in their economy, and if they feel secure, they will spend their money again. And the reason why we're approaching such a huge deficit is because after the cap and trade fiasco, after the health care bill fiasco, and after the stimulus package, which bailed out major companies on Wall Street, which promoted unethical behavior, millions of Americans said, you guys are crazy. So I'm going to do everything I can to stop spending money and stop contributing to the overall health of the taxpayer plan. That's what we did. And it's really simple economics, because when it comes to government, the government cannot create any revenues of its own. The only way the government has a top line for you businessmen and women in the room is through our tax dollars. Our expenses, by and large, haven't changed over a 6 to 9 quarter period of time. But the problem has been, although the expenses have basically stayed the same, the revenues have gone down because people stopped spending their tax dollars. They stopped spending money. So if we want to get a hold on this spending issue, if we want to get a hold on our economic issue, we've got to talk about, we have to talk about this issue of national security. Now, whenever I bring up the issue number 1 of illegal immigration, one of the first things people think is, hey, Charles, you know what? Yeah, I don't like what you're saying. I don't stand for what you're saying because you're attacking illegal immigrants. And here's what I tell them. I am a big fan of immigration. 90% of us in this room would not be here without immigration. Immigration, when folks immigrate to America, they don't come here to work for the government. They come here for opportunity. They want to build the same American dream that you and I are struggling to build today and will continue to struggle to build as the days go on. My problem is the word illegal in front of it. Either we're going to be a nation of laws or we're not going to be a nation of laws. And if I allow for you to get away with your stuff, then I got to allow him to get away with his stuff. And then before you know it, everyone's going to have an idea of what they should get away with. And we're going to have to stand strong behind this issue, not just as patriots, but as God-loving people, that if there's something illegal, we have to stand against it. But we have to learn how to stand against it without being disagreeable. I've often wondered, I've often said this to many people that would listen, my parents really had it right. Every once in a while, my dad would snap. Like many of you do, I'm sure you do with your parents. I have a tendency to snap every once in a while. In fact, I ask myself the question, Why am I yelling at this child when I'm the one that's right? You ever ask yourself that question? I'm serious. I talk to myself, and I got one child that makes me feel guiltier after spanking her than I did before, making me feel like I should be the one getting spanked. It's amazing what children do. But when you know the answer, when you are right about an answer, you don't have to be emotional, right? Who in here is going to argue that the grass is not green, it's actually purple? You're going to look at the guy kind of strange. He's trying to prove that the grass is purple. And you're just going to do this, right? When people start broaching the issue of legal immigration, all you have to say to them is this: if it's illegal, it's wrong. If it's legal, it's right. And if there's something wrong with our immigration system, then we need to have some congressmen and senators that will spend time fixing a broken system rather than trying to fix a system that's not broken in the first place, like healthcare, spend their energies doing the right thing, and leave stuff that's not broke alone. Does that make sense? An estimate, projected estimate I received last week: illegal immigration costs our country $113 billion a year. You want to solve an economic crisis, we can start there. And it's somewhere we need to start. Our struggling dollar. Why is the struggling dollar to me under national security? Because many nations outside of ours are fighting a battle with us, and it's very much an economic one. It's been happening for some time. Being an intelligence officer and actually working at the Pentagon, I'll be honest, I'm privy to certain information that ordinary citizens aren't privy to, but this is just common sense to know that our hardworking men and women in uniform for years have been fighting wars and winning. And whenever you win a lot, people just tend not to like it. You ever notice that? Because I win an awful lot when I play people in sports. I love playing sports, all sports. I've got a friend of mine. In fact, he works for our campaign. His name is Trevor. Trevor might not be here today, so you all pass his word when you see him. Everything that we do, we compete. He likes to play different sports. He's like 10, 11, 12 years younger than I am. And no matter what the sport is, I beat him on purpose. Gotta teach these young kids a lesson. And he's come to dislike it a little bit. Doesn't like talking to me much about the sports we play anymore. Because when you win a lot, people tend not to like it. Our country has been winning for years since its foundation, since its inception. And I'm telling you, there's a struggle going on outside our doors. Sometimes we don't see it outside our country doors. And sometimes we don't see it because we're too busy living or trying to make a living, that we don't see what's going on outside our nation. And this financial struggle that we're under, our dollar is struggling. We don't rebuild our dollar right now. China holds quite a bit of our debt, and they're just waiting for an opportunity. Like business, we got to buy our bonds back. We got to give our dollar some teeth again. We've got to make sure that we put together not just any type of budget, but a balanced budget. Not a budget that says we only have a $9 trillion debt instead of a $13 trillion debt. We need to get inside of a room, which means you got to work longer than just Tuesday to Thursday. We got to figure this out. I'm convinced that a lot of folks, I think that they put themselves in. I know you guys heard the same problem I heard. When we get back into this Congress, we're going to work hard, and we're going to work 5, 7 days a week. And then we found out they actually work from Tuesday to Thursday. Did y'all know that? I figured when you've been there for 28 years, you get tired. That's what kind of help send some people home. They just don't know how they go home. They'll thank us when it's over. Really, they will. They'll thank us emphatically when it's over. But we need to get some blood in there that understands our country, that understands our economy, that understands our freedoms. And we need to open up this budget, and we need to peel this thing back and make the hard decisions, and then bring them to our constituents and say, here's what we're proposing to do. We've got to break this stuff down because we have to get control of our budget. The same way you would do at home, you should hold congressmen and senators accountable for what they do. Not for a good speech, but for work and results, so they can stand in front of a camera and tell you, we have balanced the budget. Let me tell you something, folks. We balance